where, you know, the CK, super aggressive, you go like Echo Saber, BKB, Heart type of build, you become this unkillable tanky hero that also has an explosive potential using Reality Rift and also Phantasm. So I'm just a big fan of CK. And also for Zuma's draft, this mid Snapfire, I checked some of Gunner's pubs coming into this, and he's playing mid Snapfire with Boots of Travel Rush into then Shard Blink, so playing it like a Pos 4, but as soon as he's got Shard Blink, he's then going for like, you know, Kaya Sanj, Daedalus, Satanic, BKB, playing on the Lil Shredder, taking your damage at 20 talent, the multi-shot at level 25. So he's kind of doing like this hybrid style. Because I remember like last DPC in Europe specifically, they're just all in on right click. They'd be going like drum, BKB, small crit, waiting for levels and then becoming the right click. But he is playing like a hybrid style of all magic damage into then when you get the talents becoming right click. So I'm excited to see the mid Snapfire return.
I think one of the really interesting things too that happens with Four Zoomers is the fact that Gunner tends to play less of the traditional like 2 role, and it kind of splits it with Moo, right? Because Moo, a lot of the times, we've been seeing not quite the same extent as Amar the F, but you know, with these offlaners, especially, you know, if they're very comfortable on the heroes, they tend to soak up more farm, and Gunner ends up being a little bit more utility early on, rather than, you know, the big showstopper. But as the game progresses, he does get the chance to get, you know, more items and have more impact, especially physically speaking.
And this is like the perfect hero for it, and I think for me again, like, I didn't really cover much NA before, but Zoomers was always the team which I expected to be kind of like what Undying now is in NA, where like Undying is becoming the true contender, could easily be, you know, #1, maybe shared second spot in the region. And like for Zoomers always like they could have been that team. And like, now with this iteration with Constabile, I feel like that kind of gave me the new lease. I was like, ooh, maybe they could. You know, they came second in Pro Series Season 9. I think they lost 3-1 in the final. Like, I kind of want this team to be that little bit better. I want to be able to say that this team, for Zoomers, is in that top 4. Of course, you know, TooBased as well, potentially later down the line, but I think...
I was about to say, like, what do you have against TooBased that you're not feeling that same
to be clear,
drive and excitement for them there?
Literally, I have nothing against TooBased. It's just like, so far track record, like 4Zoomers has been around longer, you know, now TooBased has got, you know, Lil Nick in it, like they're doing roster shuffles and stuff. I think... But I think that's the beauty of the NA region so far, right? It's like everyone's maturing and evolving into the competition, right? And we're having, you know, more, you know, the kind of closer series. I just think that 4Zoomers is slightly closer to being able to fight for the top. But again, what am I to say? You know, but TooBased could easily just stomp this and suddenly, you know, we're all TooBased fans out of nowhere, you know, like...
Yeah, it's funny how our panel has that happen to them, right? They're totally on board for one particular team, and then you turn around and all of a sudden they are chanting the other team's name.
I guess it's just for me, like being, you know, more European kind of, you know, analyst style. I look at 4Zoomers as more names that I know, right? So because of the DPC, I'm now seeing new players. So like TooBased is kind of like the NA that you wouldn't normally see. Last year, you know, like last year
they were playing.
No, I meant like last year was the first time I personally saw them, right?
Okay.
That's what I meant, sorry.
Yeah. Ooh, a nice vacuum bag, and Empyrean gets chased down by Moo.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage right now. Like, this is such a scary lane. Tree is so strong with both Grasp and Leech Seed. You get level 3, 2-point Leech Seed. You're then really tanky. And one of the things that Darkseid needs is a hero to utilize the Iron Shell and be tanky enough. You know, Spirit Breaker is a classic combo, Nyx Assassin. But Tree gives that extra little bit of something because you apply the slows and the heal.
Nightmare coming out from Husky. He'll trade off, though, try to protect Lil Nick. They don't have anything else to hold him in place, so it's going to be fine.
Yeah, 4Zoom is really leaning on the fact that they're just going to have high damage in all their lanes. You know, Bane can set up with the Nightmare, get some right clicks in, can also save the target they're going on. That is why, you know, Bane's one of the most favorite heroes in the patch right now.
I thought it was because his axe is absolutely broken.
If you can get that,
oh, Empyrean. Oh, again, he just gets slowed down. Too much damage. But they could get themselves a return kill, so Z-Freak, he is a big tanky Tree, but not going to survive this time around.
Yeah, that was important right now, because, like, honestly, TooBased is going to be happy with this. You know, losing your Ogre, your Morphling's farming. He's going to have his Morbid Mask complete now. And when Morphling gets Morbid, he can then start, you know, farming up by himself. Still easily could die if he gets hit by a vacuum pre-attribute shift. But yeah, this is... This is why, you know, the 4Zoomers lane, it's just so annoying. Darkseid plus anything, if you're out of position, you are going to get vacuumed. No more of this surge shenanigans. You're not going to try and play for survival. Darkseers are playing to kill.
I think that's the right way to approach lanes, though, too, right? Because you don't want to just play it to survive. It's always, you know, how can I get the advantage? How can I make the other guy in the lane, your enemy, have a worse time than
I mean, that's Dota in general. That's why chat wars and tipping was introduced to the game. Every possible combative way to win the game is what a Dota player, unfortunately, does use.
Leech Seed, they've got the Ion Shell. Nice play here by Imperium, making sure that Moo can't go for that vacuum play. Bit of a spooky lane.
Ooh, and a pause.
Did get a bit of a pause. We haven't checked in at all with the mid lane, though. And
It's just a farm fiesta. Like, if you look at the mini-map, there are no sentries placed on either small camp. So, yeah, it is very much how quickly can both... Yeah, see here, they're both stacking up their small camp. They both have big annoying damage. Oh, bugs.
Are we talking in-game bugs, or are we talking, like,
I mean, Ice
Peter rolling around in his chair, spraying raid?
Don't forget, Ice had to fight off, I think, a fly during the Animager, so maybe we get the return of the same fly.
Were there cockroaches at that? No.
Maybe. I just thought I'd say fly. It sounded nicer.
I just feel like that sounds so wimpy. It's fighting off a fly.
Dude.
I mean, it'd be more impressive if it was, you know, EG fly.
If it was actual fly, yeah.
When he was EG fly.
Too soon.
Too soon. Anyways, though. Middle lane do have a bit of a gank coming out, trying to just slow down Ryoya enough, and they should be able to finish. Another hit from Low Shredder. No, not quite enough. 7 hit points. There it is. Gunner ensuring that he can get the kill.
Also, that's such like a weird rotation. Not because, again, it's a very good one, but Tree traditionally is the hero that people always say, he has to stay side lanes, he'll never really be able to get to mid, but when you're playing, you know, Dire side running through Radiant jungle, surprisingly, Radiant, they have a lot of trees on their side of the map.
Oh, Empyrean, the cookie hop. Husky also with the rotation, gets the brain sap. They need a little bit more damage. Can they close the gap? It's looking pretty good as Freak punches in. We'll see this teleport coming in from Ryoya, a good LSA, so Ryoya will come back to lane and collect a kill.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, nice little double setup of kills there. And the kind of self-sufficient nature of CK in the safe lane with lifesteal, Moo in bot lane, being able to spam out shells, it unlocks the supports to make these move. And Bane Tree, if they find the hero, you know, it's a nightmare. Tree, a very slow hero, can walk on top of them, get that Leech Seed, the Grasp, and then you actually have kill threat, especially if, you know, Snapfire's in range with the ultimate as well. So we might be looking at ForZoomers being a little bit more active with supports. And right now for TooBased, it's trying to get the most out of the farm that is being pushed into them. You know, Speedbreaker will be able to farm for free on the tower, morphing free on the tower, Lina pushing it out.
It's still very neck and neck here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, this is the type of game where ForZoomers, they will thrive if Darkseer gets like a good game. You have wall onto the Morphling, CK exploding people, but they will struggle when TooBased get items. When Morphling and Lina get to like start A-clicking from a distance, as we see the Ogre, unfortunately, it goes down again. But this is what I meant in regards to that kind of the self-sufficient nature of the cause. It unlocks these actions to occur, right?
This is the most lethal Tree I think I've seen in quite a while. Also, we have the funny meme number, but he is just a menace. He's showing up everywhere. Bottom lane again. They're going to use Scatter Blast, slow down on Ollie. Nature's Grass to follow up. They'll even go for the Snapfire Kisses because they just want to ensure that they can take out this Morphling, but they don't quite have enough damage to bury no. Gunner will find it. And the Laguna Blade, though, coming out from Ryoya. Moose should fall for this despite having that nice living armor on him. So Z-Freak is forced away. He's going to be able to walk away with Gunner. They'll sidestep that arrow, no problem. And protect their tower, but end up losing their safe lane core.
But this is 100% because Zoomers are playing Dire, putting Tree in position 4, you get to play inside the Radiant jungle. Like, I said this earlier, but Radiant jungle, there are so many more trees just because, you know, Radiant is life, Dire is, you know, dead, right? I don't really know lore, but I'm kind of assuming there. And that's why, like, you know, the Radiant side of the map, there's so much more room for a Tree to play in, and it's why he's able to connect from bot to mid so freely. He's also got vision as well in the Radiant jungle, so he's kind of able to play with that comfort of, I can be in your face, I can play on the Leech Seed, and again, they're playing it, but again, for TooBased, this is not the part of the game where they are meant to be doing anything too crazy. They are meant to be just pushing out the lanes, farming up, getting items. Their draft isn't built around suddenly, you know, destroying lanes and running at people. It's survival. Poor Ogre, not again.
Again, Empyrean, that courier just gave them away. They've got the Ion Shell, they've got plenty of just damage over here, so they're just gonna punch away on Empyrean, and that is that.
He still has more net worth than the Bane, so that is also pretty impressive. 5 deaths and more gold.
Pause that thought for a moment, though.
Pausing it.
How many do we know the dividing of trees, like, per side of map? Because the way that you said that, you know, like, oh, you know, he likes
really
to play in the Radiant jungle more, but I'm not sure what the actual numbers are.
I would probably argue, like, I feel like it's like half. It honestly feels like so sparse. The amount of trees.
But isn't it just because they don't have leaves?
Maybe, but it does feel a lot emptier.
I'd be curious to know what that stat actually is.
It's probably not half, actually. It's probably like a quarter. Yeah, I'll go quarter. That'll be my bold assessment.
All right. Everybody heard him say it, so we eventually get the stat.
Who's going to whip that stat out?
Somebody will, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody will. I'll dial up our friend Leomar there.
I hope
I'll
so.
ask him.
That's a banging stat, honestly.
That is a very interesting one. Of course, the side of TooBased, you know, they have to really commit for all of these towers, right? So we saw, you know, some pressure being placed on the top lane, but they have a Treant Protector. They have, you know, that living armor. So if they want to make moves, it is a little bit harder. But again, they're not looking to rush this game either.
Oh, 100%. If they rush this game, running into heroes like CK, Tree, and Darkseer, it's like, unless you have perfect vision, it's going to be a hard fight. They don't have this clean way of team fighting, where it's not like they play around a Ravage or a Black Hole type situation. It's very much Ogre has to die to unlock, then Spirit Breaker Morphling running in, whilst, you know, Lena's peppering from a distance. But that's why I'm happy they're not trying to make too many moves. They are just farming up and accepting that the first like 20 minutes of this game will be for Zuma's game to really run around and make their moves. And that's why you see 4 Zumas, you know, TPing multiple cores to top lane, really trying to start breaking down the map.
I'm going to put some little pressure here on Lil Nick. Cookie Hop forward will connect, but look at these TPs coming out. The follow-up with the Mirana ultimate. Moonlight Shadow, not going to be enough to save Lil Nick, though. So they also follow up. This Lina just putting out too much damage. Won't have Moo a part of this fight again. Jumping forward, the Gone Cookie here coming out from Ollie as he turned himself into the Snapfire. A couple clicks. And they'll cut down a tree.
That's a really nice response to a lineup that's a bit more aggressive than yours. If they try and make this small play, you just bring everyone to the engagement, you kill them off, and then you just take this tower for free. Like you mentioned the value of Treant, he's dead for 14. They potentially might be able to just start chipping away this tower, but they also need to be careful. If 4 Zumas decide to just bring everyone back up here and still take the fight, they got to get out, right? So yeah, as soon as you see the 4 Zumas TP, it's going to potentially be a disengage, go back to farming.
A living armor coming into play now, so take the creeps off the tower on the side of Zoomers. It feels like TooBased are sticking around. Gunner's already just going to teleport away, though.
Yeah,
they could potentially, with 4 heroes up there. Yeah, look at this. It gets a couple of the pings going on.
Still fake back. Step back a couple units, turn around.
Back.
Tree does have TP. CK has no Phantasm, but has TP. So again, 4 Zumas, if they want to defend this,
they've got the vision.
They have the vision.
They know that they're making their moves, and they don't have the Moonlight Shadow. Flea leaping in. He's going to drop the wall immediately. Pull them back around, but it's a lot of damage. Moo trying to run away. There's going to be a Nightmare coming out as Z-Freak punches away over onto Imperium. He's all separated from the rest of his team as Constabulate comes in. Final hit comes out, and they'll find Flea over into the corner. And they'll get the kill on the Mirana. Still chasing after Ollie. I'm not sure they have quite enough damage, quite enough catch this time around, but the Zoomers just making their way back up very quickly here to punish them for going after their tier 1. And a lot of that is made possible because the Snapfire has those boots of travel.
I like the fact that when Ogre runs behind tower, the rest of base are like, yo lads, I'm just taking this tower. I'm not going to join this diving a Darkseer situation. And honestly, that kind of feels good if you're TooBased. Taking away the safe lane tower, you trade off 2 supports, they use grip, you kind of delayed it a little bit more. Like you see here, right? Both supports running in. You see the Lina and the Morphling just chunking away at the tower, playing on range. They don't get, you know, too hasty here. If they're diving in, this is like a terrible fight for them. But they play for the objective, they disengage, and now they need to just go back to mode farm, because I think that mini engagement should strike fear to TooBased, where if they actually overcommit an objective, they are going to struggle right now until they have the items. You know, Morphling, he's just got the Perseverance right now. Trying to farm his way up to a Lincoln's to deal with, you know, the grip and maybe the CK stun.
There's quite a few things that they could try to hit him with.
There's a lot of ground-targeted stuns and roots that are really going to be a hindrance. Even like vacuum into a wall can be quite annoying if you don't have waveform. The blink Scatterblast with Shard into Cookie is pretty annoying. Like, it is going to be a difficult Morphling game until he has kind of like Lincoln's Manta Satanic Skadi range. That's when he's going to be like laughing at his enemies, like, please, where's your damage? Try and kill me now. But
That is a ways off.
That's the great thing in Dota. You know, if I describe 5 items, you got to farm 5 items.
And you got to play that map efficiently. But we do see a smoke play coming out from the side of TooBased.
Oh, even bringing the Morphling in.
That's kind of interesting that they're opting to do this.
In this part of the game, like, if they find a core kill, it's worth quite a lot of gold too. That can help accelerate the game, but it's also very risky. It takes a lot of confidence to make this type of play. And they have the vision for it. You know, they use this smoke, they get a ward down. Then, I think they've... No, that was pink drawing on the minimap. Yeah, again, I think they're just respecting their opponent here. Like, they didn't find a kill, but they didn't overextend, right? Like, some teams there with that smoke, they go, we have to find a kill with the smoke. Let's run for the tier 2 top. Let's really force it. We have Lil Nick in the area.
Well, the positioning is very nicely set up here, too.
Oh, are they gonna... Yeah.
So if they make a play on Moon, like they're doing right now, the rest of the team is nearby. Go for the Nether Strike. They've got the Moonlight Shadow. Moves fast, but they'll follow up. Nice wall, just dragging right back in again here. As they use the dust, they can see Empyrean. Poor Empyrean. I feel like he always gets left behind here.
It's fine. He's used to it now. He's 0-6.
And body blocks coming out as well. As Empyrean's going to end up getting Fiend Script, and Gunnar will show up, but Moo ultimately finding Empyrean.
And meanwhile, we have Constabile with his armlet and his Echo Saber. Very happy.
Yep, sitting at the top of the net worth right now and just being allowed to do whatever he wants. So while TooBased does move around the map and perhaps we lose Empyrean a couple times, it is making so much space here for this core. But Lil Nick, they do have the vision. They drag back. They're out of Chaos Bolt. A couple more hits. Oh, he's just gone. Soloed by Constabile.
Just role-playing the Ancient there, Lil Nick. Constabile just farming up like a neutral creep. Insta-smoke up, punishing the fact they found a pick-off. And will they be able to find anyone else? Only Flea is in the area. Everyone else is kind of playing the extreme parts of the map on the top and the bottom. Most likely just using this.
Oh, Ryoya. Yeah, the jump forward immediately from Gunnar. Cookie a little bit off the mark. Wasn't expecting that reality rift, but that will ensure that there is no Lina here to defend this tower, and they should be able to take mid.
That is a lot of damage that they have available right now. And for Zoomers, they didn't really overplay the hand early on in this game. They had a lot of potential damage. They were smoking up aggressively, but they waited for CK to get an item, get a pick-off, and that's when they move again. And I'll be intrigued to see how 4Zoomers now play, because this is like the window of the game where they could easily just keep chaining smokes together. Darks is like 1400 away from his Aghanims. Gunner's already one component complete to BKB. Like, in about 3 minutes, I'd argue, this is when 4Zoomers will hit such a big peak where they're going to want to look for kills, interrogation, and break down the map. And Lil, I was gonna say if Lil Nick connected there.
He thought about it.
Oh, I mean, ambitious, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Ollie's nearby. You've got plenty of people here, but they do have the vision off to the side, so.
Yeah, exactly. But TooBased right now, they need to kind of weather that storm and be prepared. If they start making aggressive plays and accelerate that timing for Zoomers, the next portion of this game will be rather difficult. So I'd love to see them just, you know, sacrifice this little ogre a couple more times. You know, throw him to the wolves, off you go, Chief. And then when Morphling gets some items, that's when the game's going to be looking pretty even once again. But we are slowly building up to a nice little fighting portion of the game.
I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen Lil Nick making more moves around the map and like pairing up with like, you know, a +1, so to speak. He's been very farm heavy. Is that typical in this particular lineup when you are in the situation, you know, you just want to make space for the morph?
Unfortunately, due to the heroes he's playing with, there's not that innate kill combo.
Right.
If you make space for morph and you bring the Lina as your +1, Lina will be dying as the counterplay, because for Zoomers, if a hero dies, they have the perfect heroes to chase you down and get the kill after, right? And Spearbreaker, Lina, Ogre, it's not a lot of damage, and like Murano as well, it's a lot of like setup, but not the decisive blow. And of course, Lina can be that blow, but like I mentioned, it is you will be trading lives, and I don't think TooBased want to be trading lives right now until they actually have like kind of an item timing. Maybe if the lanes went better, they found some little cheeky kills, it would be a completely different story. But with how the game's going, I think they are just fully respecting one death means you lose the entire map with the type of draft that 4Zoomers have. They will be running at you with like no respect to your ability to cast spells, because their spells are kind of superior right now in this window. As, once again, a great noble sacrifice. I'm not even memeing at this point.
The life of an ogre.
I mean, this is perfectly fine. Ooh,
Open the door, though, for them
right.
to be able to put some pressure on Roshan, and it doesn't feel like Zoomers has any indication that this is happening. Have BKBs picked up on top of that? Ryoya does have his completed, and I believe we saw Kostabile has finished his as well.
That was such a cool play. Like, Ogre dies, but they go Roshan. They don't actually have any vision to support that Roshan, unfortunately, and that's why they back out.
Yeah, they go for the scan too here.
And Radiant used their own scan on the Roche pit after they disengaged, because they expected 4 Zoomers to maybe come into the area.
I like this counterplay. I like the idea of, you know, they're going to be checking the pit. We want to make sure that we can try to punish them if they try to get too close. Try to secure up this advantage, and that's going to be Z-Freak who gets found. All the stuns in the world.
Maybe they go straight back to the pit, but...
Well, you just saw Gunnar teleport out.
He's mid lane though. He's already mid lane, and this can be scary with Darkseer and Snapfire. They're about 10 seconds away if 4 Zoomers wanted to make a play on this. They are looking like they're ready.
I mean, you don't have your tree though.
Yeah, they don't have...
I look at Empyrean again, just throwing his body forward. The arrow does end up handing, but it's going to be Ollie who grabs the Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, fair play. That was a pretty cool... That takes some, you know, some gusto to be able to get one tree kill, who, again, supports at this point in the game normally have buyback, so to kill a hero that has buyback, but then go to Roshan, 4 Zoom is just a little bit, like 5 seconds, and that could have been a completely different scenario. But again, very good from TooBased to make that read, to even start the Roshan when Ogre was dying. Again, pretty impressive calls there. And that really helps him accelerate the timings, like I mentioned, because if a Morphling tanks are like 4 Zoomers, they kill you through big cooldowns. If the cooldowns aren't up, Morphling should be able to have a great game.
Immediately just cast a little sidestep, a little dancing action coming out from Empyrean, but
he's dead
got
again.
Plenty of ways to slow him down. Get the damage off the Fiend's Grip over on the back line over to Ryoya. He just absolutely melts. So they end up punishing TooBased for being in their area without being set up with enough foresight here, Gunnar. Just popping down here. Doesn't quite have that shard yet. Is working on the BKB as his next item. And looks like Morphling. I'm not sure about this, Husky.
Yeah, you gotta walk that one off, Chief.
They'll even go and they'll drop the wall, the drag back.
He has waveform.
Stun again. Yeah, the waveform right up to the top area. And he's just out like that. Oh, Z-Freak.
A wild tree.
Can't do much here, though. Just
this is where Ollie goes all the way down to 1 HP and gets a right click from an invisible tree.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Can you imagine how bad? So, like,
dude, the clip of that would be insane.
Just mauling.
There's been a lot of clips circling, probably about 2-3 months ago when I think it was Cancel Morphling, where he'd go down to 1 HP, use the shovel, and die to the Cobalt. That was pretty funny. Bye, Z-Freak.
Yeah, he stayed there just a little bit too long. But a nice kill pickup here for Ollie. What are we looking at now for this guy? He's sitting at 3-1 and 2.
I mean, again,
so farming up a storm and also just finding these kills along the way. It's pretty much the dream for a Morphling.
No major complaints right now from the Morphling. Like, even though he's got 1 death, it's the idea that lane was pretty chill for him. He then rotated with his team, occupied some aggressive part of the map, went for a Roshan. Of course, he doesn't have the extra benefit of all these towers, is why CK is kind of leading ahead a little bit here. But again, it's an impressive start. And this is why I think CK now, if we pivot this way, is pretty good against Morphling, because he doesn't mind buying a Skadi, and he's tanky enough to deal with a potential shotgun play, so it forces Morphling to have to go for a full right-click build, and the right-click build, you know, that's 3-4 items like we mentioned earlier, and surviving is key. Like, CK is a hero where if you can kill during Phantasm, you're the best carry in the game. If you can't kill a hero during your Phantasm, you're actually like a creep. Like, that's how like polarizing this carry is. It's either you're the best or the worst in the game, and right now, it's going to be looking pretty good. He can kill pretty much every hero, and also the talent to take away for the pull on BKB targets also helps him scale into the game as well. Like, he never feels uncomfortable when he can reality rift at level 20 as well. So that gives him so much scaling, because like heroes like Lina, who rushes BKB to survive, when CK is 20, like your main defensive mechanism is removed as well, because physical damage isn't your friend. It's why maybe the Silver Edge could be helpful for Ryoya, but again, the next 5 minutes of the game is like super exciting, because it's going to be, the pace is going to be turned up. It feels like quite a slow game right now, but we're going to have, you know, bloodshed soon as they smoke up. Look at that, fitting.
It's interesting that we see. Oh, it's Empyrean. He's always the one to tank the gank, find the smoke.
I mean, that's actually very cool.
It is. It allows for Ollie to get away, and that's perfectly fine, I think, for TooBased.
It is a bit surprised. Oh, wait, let's see if they... Agents
Still moving this way, but I don't think they can quite get over there. Oh, the blink forward from Gunnar with the hop. Never mind. So use the little shredder, try to reduce some of that armor. But they needed more lockdown faster, and they did not have it.
Also, the interesting thing about that smoke, though, from 4Zoomers is normally when you smoke, you want to try and run across most part of the map to try and open up and find a kill, right? But instead, they're smoking through their own jungle, where Based have kind of been sending the supports anyway. So they actively did choose to smoke into an area that Ogre has occupied for like the last 10 minutes, rather than trying to go to a new territory, place new vision, because of course, like Roshan, it's already been contested. Like playing topside is kind of empty, but anyways, very good that Ogre was able to tank that once again. He has done, look at that, a tremendous job. 5 deaths on the dire side of the map. A round of applause for Ogre. Opening up the game. No memes intended.
Oh, Flea ends up getting dragged away. They have the dust. They just need to close the gap now. So it'll be a nightmare. Cookie hop again, and Flea is just on the wrong side of the map right now.
And you see Moo on the minimap. He just draws that straight like, guys, please get out of our jungle. We need to like do something. Run at them, please. I think Moo's getting a bit. He's hungry for the blood himself. Yeah, he's pushing out bot. He's sending his troops. Again, I just love watching the minimap. He's sending his troops in like, please, go. Do something, kill them. Little Nick though, pushing out top. Should be fine. But he might get rid of it. Ooh.
Oh, a little bit off the mark. And look at the teleports coming out immediately. Only gonna go after the illusion though, as they use the BKB. Snapfire. Gunner's just gonna teleport out. No problem. And Z-Freak is hidden pretty deep in the woods now. So a lot of TPs. Stabule's still here though.
Oh, he's kind of by himself.
Pops the BK. It's always Empyrean. It's always the Ogre. As the rest of TooBased leap into that tree line and just avoid taking the fight.
I don't know, at this point it's like, I feel like 4Zoomers, guys, we're up by 12 kills, but
it's all over.
It's just over. And that's why the game feels so close.
Oh, well, they do find Ryoya, though. Leap forward here with that cookie. They have a charge out over onto Gunnar, though. The LSA does connect, follow up with a Laguna Blade. And now Nick giving the hits off. He pops his own BKB. He wants this kill, and he'll be able to find it.
That wasn't too
The rest of the Zoomers trying to get into position. They went in for that play. They don't quite have the reach, though, as the arrow comes through. LSA gets the nightmare off. Little Nick, he's going to be able to help out as Ollie finishes off Moo.
TooBased are doing a really good job at just punishing the map movement here.
They're just skirmishing so well, back and forth. As Nick runs in, looking for the opening. Finds Conceptually, he's very, very tanky, but they have really good lockdown here again. That nightmare, though, coming up from Husky, trying to buy just a little bit more time. And they'll throw out the living armor. Ryoya, he wants this kill, but oh, the follow-up. BKB will prevent him from getting completely stunned together as Ollie put some damage over on this mid lane.
That was like the perfect engagement. Lil Nick played that really well. His itemization is enabling him to do this. He's not messing around with this pointless Echo Saber shenanigans. He's got Shadowblade, BKB.
That arrow?
Cutting them out, and he's just giving Lean and Morphling a way to play from behind the aggression. So yeah, really good stuff.
Now, I've asked this to a couple people about the Ogre Shard, and several of them said it's a bit of a meme. They don't think it's very good.
I'll watch the replay and then I'll see how good I think it is. Because I think I just want to praise Nick here, because I think the reason why I love Shadowblade BKB is the fact that you're online by around 20 minutes. You actually get to join your team, and this was just perfect. Like, they take a kill, they disengage, and Constabile, he feels like he can take this fight here. But unfortunately, as soon as when he pops his ult, it comes up right here. Like, he can't then connect, right? And it's just a kiting out, prolonging, and against CK, he needs to ult, kill, chain kill, go again, you know? And they perfectly just kept kiting, stunning up the illusions, prolonging it just an extra little bit, and it really helped. And then the fire shield. In this game, Ogre Shard, I actually think it vibes. It vibes hard just because CK is a hero, which is like, I'm going to hit you 4 times, you know? My 3 illusions plus me, all going to take a chunk out your face, and maybe you die. Ogre Shard, it actually kind of helps with that, right? Like, it gives you that buffer where 3 attacks, no thank you, don't hit me. And that can be the difference between like getting off a BKB, getting off a Yules, or getting off that something required to survive CK. So I'm actually, in this game, because of CK, I'm actually a fan of it.
All right. So just a very situational thing, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I guess when Snapfire gets 25 with the multi-shot and the little shredder, it's then going to be pretty bad because there's going to be so many attacks flying at them, it's going to go in like a second, right? But this small portion of the game where CK wants to find kills, it could be the difference maker. But don't rush it, please. This is it's also pretty griefy if it's just a bad game.
Well, it feels like they know exactly what the timings are for 4 Zoomers, and so it's like a Band-Aid, so to speak, right? It's something to help aid them through this time, so that way they can reach the later game and they can do the mass amounts of damage that they need to secure it.
And this is like the first time 4 Zoomers have even like been on the Radiant side properly. Like, they've just been running into an Ogre for 29 minutes that they've been unable to cross the river. So now they're like, wow, what's this Radiant side of the map? This is crazy.
Stabile sees Flea. Blinks forward, though. Goes towards the creeps. They're positioned pretty well on both sides if they want to try to make something happen.
But this time, 4 Zoomers have Roshan control. They got the aggressive ward on the Radiant side of the map. They know it's up. I don't think they're going to be rushing it. They are going to be looking to take the engagement beforehand.
Z-Freak will be the one who gets the mains and jump forward, though, immediately from Gustav. The beautiful wall vacuum. Oh my god, Moon just gets a triple kill, and the full medium hair, everything that they need. They get the kill on Ollie. My god.
That was absolutely beautiful. Oh god, that was just clean. As we lag. Ooh.
As we lag.
Oh
they did so well. The whole game Kansas is just trying to catch up.
I was like, please,
word.
server, don't crash, please.
Please, God, please. Don't make this.
No.
No.
But that was a beautiful demonstration as we get to see a replay where the smoke breaks, they're positioned really well. Tree gets vision of them. You get the blink, Snapfire in. Boop, vacuum.
Beautiful cookie onto 3 and then just right into that wall.
Oh, that was just,
yeah. I mean, I have to agree with Owen's voice line there.
Yeah, that was absolutely perfect. And I kind of feel bad for Base there because they were so close to getting to a confident point in the game. This was like their moment to make a move, right? And unfortunately, they run into this. Like, you don't often run into this.
I mean, you hope that you don't run into that. That was a hit squad and a half.
Yeah. And that is kind of the fundamentals of Dota, right? Like, if you're smoking, you want to smoke.
Look at Gustav, like he is feeling so bold with his Aegis.
Do it. Why not? You got Aegis, Phantasm, and 8, but yeah. TooBased will be looking back at that, going, next time we smoke, we need to make sure we're smoking through areas where you can place high ground vision before entering choke points. And I think that's why a lot of teams nowadays, they do much wider smokes. They're kind of taking the wraparound because they need to have that high ground vision.
Yeah, we are seeing that.
Yeah.
We are definitely seeing these very broad swings.
Unlike here, where it was kind of like, to the high ground we go, and then vacuum wall, 4 deaths later, and Aegis and Constabile. But again, this is where 4 Zoomers now have finally hit the moment where their drafts kind of clicked. They have multiple forms of initiation with CK Blink, Snap Blink, Darkseer Blink. They got blinks everywhere. And Lena, she is so afraid. If she is out of position, she is going to die. I assume CK did take the talent, right? Yeah, he did go for that 20 talent. So even if you're BKB'd, you will be pulled in to the middle of the Phantasm. And it isn't pretty.
It's very, very scary, for sure. So you don't have a lot of hit points that you're working with in the first place, and all you want to do is kite, but...
Honestly, this is the type of game where I feel like Lena would do really well with just like a casual Lincolns. Just go, BKB Silver Edge, Lincolns, Daedalus, Satanic, and play on the fact that Bane and CK now have to kind of synergize, going, if she's BKB'd, we either have to grip break it or Phantasm break it and then play from there.
Gonna go for the long range Snapfire Kisses, and Z-Freak, perfect positioning, but the follow-up here as Gustavile just chases after Rio. He tries to push away. They need a little bit more damage, and they have it.
And now you see Gunner, he hits that level 20, goes for the Lil Shredder, uses your attack damage. He's looking pretty happy. He's gonna start clicking. He's going for a Lincoln's, because he is rather annoyed with the Spirit Breaker charging him relentlessly.
This is such a crazy hero when you think about it, right? With a Snapfire, the way that you can build so many different ways and still do so much damage.
I think it's fun in a hero when you can play an early game in one way and then your late game is completely different. That's kind of a fun hero. But also the makings of a broken hero. Because why can Snapfire do all this magic damage in the first 25?
Say she's broken. Would you? Really?
Not competitively, but like in theory. Like if you were able to play like the perfect game and you could do and hit every beat, like Snapfire is pretty busted. But again, it's like a 6-item type situation where realistically it doesn't happen in a pro game, right? But the skill set, if you described it to someone, they'd be like, this is very good.
That's fair, yeah. Agree with that. Please.
Then you have here.
Oh, the Blink Ward immediately jumping. Oh, but the follow through here with the Spear Breaker is going to be enough that actually saves Flea. So, Lil Nick just trying to push them off the tower. They've already dropped the wall. Stobile trying to drag, and you do have a little bit of that vision. The Cookie Hop will prevent him from taking any more damage. They know that Z-Freak's over here, so they'll cut down the forest, they'll stun him up, and protect their base.
Forzoomers getting punished there for being a little bit too confident with their high ground siege. You know, CK trying to get the quick pick off, but you have Lil Nick charging through, stopping that aggression, and then able to quickly capitalize on the fact they are underneath the tier 3s. Forzoomers need to respect this because with their lineup, if they make that play like 1 or 2 more times, the game will shift. Spearbreaker does become this, you know, unstoppable force running through you. Morphling will become the unkillable carry. Like there is a timer for Forzoomers to feel happy in this game through Lincolns and Cores on TooBased from Spearbreaker just being Spearbreaker, and CK naturally somewhat falling off going into the late game. But I think they're gonna probably just go again. Like they still have the Aegis for another 25 seconds, but
that's time that's just right though, because you don't want to be caught right when it starts to disappear.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they, like...
You think they're just going to push it out and then back?
I think they're just going to go straight for the high ground again.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
Or, like, push this bot lane and then smoke into top, you know? Like, one of those plays is either run at their base and hope, which is kind of the risky play, or it's just smoke. I would prefer to see them smoke. Yeah, okay, they're smoking. Beautiful.
I like that they picked up that gem early, though. And I know you're a big proponent of this, too. Like,
big
being
gem
able
fan.
to take away the resources, take down the vision, and just really push that envelope. But Lil Nick over on the low ground.
Oh, they find the Ogre once again.
It's not who they want, but they'll have to take his Lil Nick, finding the opening, though. Who's going to try to get rid of Husky as fast as possible. Nightmare coming through. Is Cookie Hop forward? Is it going to be enough? No, Husky will fall. Lil Nick charging. Again, they've got those BKBs, but the overgrowth, they're trying to land an arrow. Not going to be able to quite find if the vacuum comes through. They're trying to cut down Z-Freak. They come right through the wall. Again, though, with these Snapfire kisses. They'll kill Lil Nick. They'll kill Ollie. They're going to buy back, though. They want to get back into this, but they have lost so much on the side of TooBased.
Ooh, an aggressive tip there from Z-Freak. Haven't seen any tips really this game. Feeling it now that he's got the team wipe. Forcing out 2 buybacks from the side of TooBased, 1 from Husky. And CK now walks around the map quite freely.
Nick, you're not safe, my friend. Normal punch and some hits from Granny's shotgun.
And that was a dieback, actually.
Yeah.
That's Baragon. And the nice thing as well with CK, which gives him some playability, is the fact that his shard also gives him an illusion on the spawn target. So normally if you don't have your ultimate, you kind of wear a creep. If you get onto a target, you're always going to have U+1, which is it's nice enough to be killing off these supports, or at least giving you a little bit more damage in these fights. But yeah, again, Forzoomers demonstrated their positioning in the big, like when they team wiped TooBased before they went Roshan, simply positioning, reading the smoke, and then having that bot lane pushed out, smoking up. TooBased weren't ready for that. Forzoomers cut in, had that high ground vision, and they're able to utilize the strength of Overgrowth, CK, Darkseer Wall. Like, it's very scary. If you're not in that nice formation, Forzoomers will be able to just get in between your ranks and just slaughter you, because that's kind of what, you know, CK Snap want to do. And they might just get megas from all of this.
This is actually insane. I mean,
Cookie
depends if they grab anyone else, though, right? Because they might respect this Ryoya. Nice double strike here. Follow up with the Morphling. They're going to try to punch it, but they've already dropped the wall. And the BKB is out over onto Ollie, but they're just shredding through Empyrean. And now the root into place. Can they put off enough damage to take down Ollie? They've got plenty. They drag him right back in again with the wall. Moo finds the kill. There is no Morphling unless he wants to buy back. They're going to get megas right now.
CK is playing a little bit scared here, but they should be able to get it here. Only a range left.
So careful.
CK is playing on the blink reinitiation. Like, he's not hitting the racks to try and bait the leaner a little bit closer. But yeah, this should just be...
Was that even a bait? I don't even think you can call it that.
Yeah, I wouldn't rate that one.
That was
8
just
out of
him
8.
running in with his face.
Will Zoomers run with their faces into these
All right.
fours? Double buyback from both.
Buyback now, Lil Nick trying desperately to get a kill on Husky. Looks with another strike, but not going to be able to quite finish off here. He's going to try to go for that arrow, giving a little bit of vision, putting a little bit of damage out from the Mirana. Charge again from Lil Nick, but Kostapathe is always in the right place, right time. He just drags him into the reality rift. Feels like TooBased, they can't quite figure out where they want to go. What's their footing here as they follow up? Gunnar jumping forward. They'll get rid of Flea. They'll chase down Lil Nick. And they're going to go right back into this base. They can smell Empyrean's blood. They've had it on their hands the entire time, but do they follow up? Another Laguna, the follow from Kostabile. The normal punch is a dead Riori. The cookie hop coming forward from Gunnar. The good game gets called. It's a rampage for Kostabile as 4 Zoomers showing their strength here in game number